Boys, today is the day we're going to sit down and rank every single Pokemon mainline titled Pokemon game, best order and worst order, anything that we can mention right now, guys. Today is the day and it is time. A lot of games have come out since we've actually sat down and done a list like this, so I wanted to jump back into it, see where things are at now. This one's Red and Blue. Oh my god, man, these games, like, I hate putting them down here because I love the nostalgia factor from them. You know, like, I'm just going to be the first person to admit it because a lot of people are just very afraid to admit it. I love the nostalgia factor from these games. I do. You know, it just, I feel like a kid again when I play them. But at the same time as well, too, you got to go back and play them, man. Like, at the same time as well, you know, I'm emulating them. If you actually go back and play it, man, like, it just feels rough. You know, it's really slow. The game mechanics are absolutely night and day from the originals to gold and silver, man. Like, just it's literally night and day, bro. Like, see it there? Because there's a night and day cycle in gold and silver. Anyways, it's literally night and day, man. I mean, you had moves that will literally get guaranteed crits because Amon was fast. You know what I mean? Like, it was night and day with these mechanics, bro. It's ridiculous, but on some point as well too, I'm not gonna lie to you, I will give it them credit. At some point as well too, it's kind of fun to play them because it feels so different than what Pokemon games are today. You know, there's no phase special split. There's only one stat. Amnesia was broken. Snorlax broken. Chansey broken. Okay, guys, I know I might get some hate for this one, and I've been literally saying this about these games since 2016. My viewers went back and found old tweets of mine. 2016 since I've been saying this game, man. Honestly, guys, Gold, Silver, and Crystal, man, these games just are not good, man. Like, I know people always clown on Red and Blue, man, and they say, oh, well, Gold and Silver is better, right? Listen, I just admitted nostalgia bias for Red and Blue. I think some people have to sit down and admit nostalgia bias for the Generation 2 Gold, Silver, and Crystal games as well, too. The nostalgia bias that people complain about in Red and Blue and Yellow and Green also exists, if not at a larger rate, also in Gold, Silver, and Crystal, because people like to have this, like, elitist mindset. Oh, I didn't like the first games that came out. They were bad. But the ones after was very good. I'm just like, they're really like there is some differences for sure, obviously, but like, it's just DLC. It's just Gen 1 DLC, and I could go into a whole debate on their problems and flaws or whatever. Regardless, man, I'm not a fan. I don't like the Johto region. I don't like these games. I've played them 100 million times. You can even go back in 2017. I played the Generation 2 games that entire year. Literally every Soul Link, every Cage Lock, every freaking Versus, man. I was in these games, bro. They're just not that good. I don't think they aged well. What I will say, though, to say some positive things, OST doesn't miss. I mean, Pokemon doesn't miss. But at the same time as well, too, the sprite work in this game is absolutely phenomenal. Now, I know my day one's gonna be like, oh my god, is there something positive about these games? Yes. The sprite work in these games is absolutely phenomenal. I'm an absolute whore for good sprite work. And the sprites in this game, very nostalgic, man. I like the sprites. To be fair, I like the sprites from Red and Blue as well, too. So, but I like the sprites. I like the sprites. Now, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald is really where I think Pokemon, for me, especially, just skyrocketed. Like, I was already obviously obsessed with Red and Blue, and even when I was a kid, I know, right? I was obsessed with Crystal, right? When I was a kid, when I was like literally 3 years old, and I would put peanut butter on 3 of my fingertips, bro. But now, I'm like, dude, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, bro, I gotta say, bro, like, really good games, bro. Really good games. I think Emerald obviously is better than those two because it's an enhanced version. And when you look at Yellow and Crystal, they're enhanced versions. Emerald really just set that precedent that this is how you do an enhanced version. You know what I mean? Fix a lot of the flaws, you know, on a greater scale that is in Ruby and Sapphire, man. Have two rival teams at the same time, so you're conflict on both sides right now. Both sides suck. You know what I mean? And then not to mention as well, too, it's Rayquaza, bro. Like, dude, Rayquaza is literally a part of the mainline story instead of him just being trapped at the post-game. Absolutely phenomenal, man. I love it. The difficulty in Emerald, though, you really can't say it's difficult. You can make it difficult, but I can't sit here and allow people to say that it is difficult. They made Tate and Liza a lot easier in Emerald, so that was a nerf. And then you literally get a level 70 Rayquaza before the Elite Four. Like, now, yes, you can choose to not actually use the Rayquaza, but everyone and their mother at that age used Rayquaza. You get what I'm saying? So you have to, like, go out of your way to make the game difficult. Regardless, Emerald is literally one of the GOATs, bro. I'd even argue putting it in GOATed, but Emerald is literally one of the GOATs. and Ruby and Sapphire are really good games. I mean, the home region is just safe. It has a lot of water, so you can't deny that. I think the thing with Gen 3 fans is they always deny criticism when it comes to their game because they're obviously infinitely better than the Generation 1 and Generation 2 games. Like, that's just so true. But so there's like some small little ego that pops up, but you just have to admit it, man. Like, there is a lot of water in these games, right? Regardless if you debate it's good or bad, there is a lot of water in these games. Like, there is a lot of water in these games, and you can't deny that. You know, you can't. You literally cannot. Bro, the moment you are done with Fort Tree City, it is water everywhere, bro. So you just can't deny that, bro. You can't. Fire and Leaf Green, I'm going to say it. These games do not get enough love. I think these games are absolutely fire, bro. Like, this is how you can actually play Pokemon. Like, when I think of the best way, or not even the best way, when I think of, like, the most Pokemon game ever, I think of Fire and Leaf Green because obviously it's Kanto. So you can't deny me on that. It's Kanto, the most Pokemon of Pokemon regions, Kanto, right? It fixed almost every flaw that was in Red, Blue, and Yellow. Literally, you have brand new content. You have Generation 3 mechanics, which is just better than the Generation 1 mechanics, right? You have brand new story added into the game because there just literally is when it comes to Giovanni, when it comes to Team Rocket, when it comes to even your rival, you get to see a lot more of him and get to learn a little more of him, especially with the Fame Checker. If you actually sat down and read that, yes, there's actually lore in that. Not too much as well to with gym leaders and such. Elite 4 members, definitely because of the Sevi Islands, man. Like I was talking about Sevi Islands, man. Post-game content, bro. The dex is much larger. There's a Nat dex, so you can get all 3 Generation Mons in this game, bro. Like, it's... I don't know what to say, man. Like, they literally just outdid themselves. Like, when I think of really God-tier remakes, I think of this game. And I think a lot of people call this game boring or it's not that good because it's Kanto. Like, they can say they don't like Kanto, that's fine, but the actual things that this game updated and did actually enhance and did actually remake, English! Look, I'm just saying, man, like, this game is phenomenal, man. Like, it really did it. It really did that. Like, it really did, you know? So, love it, man. I think it's a great game. I think it is. Now, Diamond and Pearl, man, I don't think these games aged well at all. I don't think, obviously, they're as bad as, you know, Red and Blue and, like, Gold and Silver. But for sure, man, they're definitely below average games. And I think it took all the... Like, I always kind of felt this way about Diamond and Pearl because you literally are unplayable games. Like, you literally cannot play the games. But at the same time as well, I think BDSP really was the deal breaker for me when it came to these games, man. Like... These, like I love the sprite work in these games. OST is amazing. The story in Diamond and Pearl, the Cyrus in this version versus Platinum, still good Cyrus in this, you know what I mean, man? It's still difficult with Cynthia in this game. Dope rival, man. The game was great. You know what I mean? Like, this is probably the biggest, like, love I have for Pokemon ever. When it came to it, that was not Emerald and Ruby and Sapphire and Fire Leaf Green, was Diamond and Pearl because I was on the internet. I started using it is my first game I started using the internet on, guys. So I was on the internet. I was digging deep into the internet on Cerebi. Shout out Cerebi, bro. I was on Cerebi when I was, like, in the 4th grade playing this game, bro. Like, I was obsessed. I loved it, man. I think the biggest flaw, though, and, like, the thing is, like, it's one flaw, but it's absolutely massive. It's a game-breaking flaw. The game is unplayable. HP bars are slow, movement is slow, surfing is slow, biking is slow, text is slow, dialogue is slow. Like, it literally is the definition of, I don't want to say suffering from success. I think if this game was legit playable, I would probably put this game, like, right here. I'm not even kidding. But the HMs, there's 900 HMs in this game, which now with new game mechanics can actually be fixed with an HM removal. So that's why I'm saying this game literally could have been good with the sauce had they just been playable. But it's not playable. I don't know, man. These games just were not good. I could ramble about them forever. These games are just not good, man. And then Platinum, obviously Platinum is literally like around the Emerald and Fire Red level, where this game just literally just... Like, this game quite literally just fixed... I'm just gonna put it up and go to, man. This game literally fixed almost everything that I had to do. Still a little slow, but it's not like where you literally can't play the game like Diamond and Pearl. Added brand new story content, man. You know, one of the best post games, if not the best post game we've ever seen in a Pokemon game, i.e. Black and White and Black and White 2. Those are up there as well too. Like, this game is great, man. It also, like, it took the Rayquaza concept and it upgraded it. Where, hey, here's a game where the third legendary box art gets its own game, box art, and has something to do with the plot. And then that went even further beyond. Because then you actually go into Giratina's Distortion World. Distortion World is widely received as a positive feature in Pokemon games. Everyone loves the Distortion World. It's really cool. It's really eerie. It's really dark. Honestly, I'm gonna say in air quotes, some of the more darker Pokemon games. I said darker. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and say like Pokemon games are dark, but it's definitely more darker than the average Pokemon game for sure, you know? And then Giratina is just really cool. Everyone loves Giratina, man. OFT is great. This is peak level difficulty of Cynthia as well too, man. Just a great game. It's a great game, man. It's a great game for sure. It's phenomenal. What more can I say about Platinum, man? It's Platinum, dude. Everyone loves Platinum. Now, Arceus Soul Silver. Okay, before you click out the video, listen to me when I say this. I mean this with love, but they're easily some of the most overrated games I've ever played. I literally still own the physical box of Soul Silver with my Pokewalker and the chip. Like, I logged that like hundreds of hours into this game. I'm not just saying this to get on a bandwagon. I am the wagon. I was literally the first person to start saying anything negative about these games. And I think my Messiah has spread. You know what I mean? I'm a Messiah. My gospel has spread, here I should say. But these games, man, I don't know, bro. Like, I truly believe, like, I just think, like, I'm just going to put it here because I can't put it in DP tier for sure because I can't put it in below average. I really can't. I feel like I'd have to put it a tier below, but I'm just going to put it in here right now for mid. The flaws, I've been working on a video for it for like 6 years. I'm not even trolling, man. But just to name a few, when you think of remakes and you think of something that actually fixes the original game, these games didn't really do that. It's just an HD version. Don't even look at this as a remake. Look at this as an HD version. You're gonna have all the Article Soul Silver Woodwork people now come in the comment section saying, oh, well, there's like Ariana and like, what's his name? Proton and like all this new guys, the Team Rocket and the Giovanni lore. Bro, the Giovanni lore was literally like, first off, it was literally like 20 minutes. Nothing really came of it as well too. The celebrity you get from that, you just take into Black and White to get a Zorua. You saw a little bit of the story. Yes, cool. The biggest thing is that Giovanni is Silver's dad. Again, like, it's one of those things where, like, yes, good direction, but I wish that was in the lore. Like, imagine if, like, Silver took over Team Rocket because he found out he was the son of Giovanni, you know? And Team Rocket figured that out, and they tried to bring him up as the next leader because Giovanni is MIA, you know? Or all the theories of, like, Giovanni banging, like, Ariana because she's got, like, Silver's hair or whatever. Regardless, man, and it's also as well, the level scaling is not fixed, man. There's a bunch of problems, man. I think these games are pretty. Like, I'm not gonna deny how they look. They look really good. It's really pretty, man. People love the walking feature behind as well too. It's probably the most beloved Pokemon game ever. Like, it's more beloved than like Emerald and Platinum and Black and White. I'm not even kidding. It's still one of the most beloved Pokemon games ever. But I do think that this game has major flaws, and I think that in terms of a remake, I just think Fire Leaf Green did a better job at being a remake. I do. I just think it did a better job at it. Like, does Heart Gold to Silver look better? Yes. But, you know, remake-wise, Fire they did more, you know? So, Black and White, man, where can we start about these games, man? I know people are going to be all like, oh, people are starting to come on to these games. They are still widely hated games. Just because you see your every few tweets every 6 months with like 30,000 retweets saying Black and White was so good doesn't mean people are growing on and suddenly are in love with these games. They still hate them. Like, there are people that obviously it's like a cult culture now to like these games now. Which, about time. I love them since I first played them, man, but these games are literally amazing, bro. Like, great story, great characters, bro, great progression, great pacing, man. I think pacing is underrated. Great pacing, dude. The Dex is probably one of the most 50-50 things ever, and that's a sad reality. You can say the same with Generation 1. The sad reality is that because they made so many mods, like there are 156 mods that they made in total, you're gonna have a lot of misses. You can't make that many mods and not have any misses. It's like the same with Fire Leaf Green. Fire Leaf Green, they made Goldeen. They made, like, Paris, you know? So same thing with, like, Black and White. They made, like, Gothitelle and, like, Musharna. Like, there's gotta be misses, you know? But regardless, man, I mean, OST is literally still one of the most talked about OSTs in a Pokemon game. I'm not even kidding, bro. Like, is it the biggest nostalgia one? No, no one is saying that. But when it comes to more recent internet culture, it is one of the most talked about OSTs lately in the last 5 years, bro. It really is. And people are finally waking up to these games. And I feel like you like these games more as you mature. Like, a 10-year-old would not be wild about Black and White, but I played this game when I was like 14. I feel like if you're 14, you'll definitely like these games a little more. Because when you're 14, you're like, oh, I don't want to be bubble bath anymore. I want to fight. I want to be edgy, you know? So it's like, that's kind of where it goes. And then Black and White too, man. Like these are, obviously they're enhanced versions like Emerald and Platinum, but at the same time as well too, it's a sequel like Gold and Silver. So it's two birds, one stone, which is phenomenal. I think it's the first game we've ever gotten something like that, where it's an enhanced version and a sequel. If you want to be technical, Crystal is also that, where it's an enhanced version and a sequel. So, I mean, if you want to be technical, yeah, shout out Crystal. But, like, these games are phenomenal, man. The World Tournament, dude. I love that it's a time skip as well, too. Kind of like how it is from Gen 1 to Gen 2, bro. It continues on, bro. They actually talk about Hilbert and Hilda on how I think they're, like, 18 now. And, like, Hilbert joined, like, the police. What is it? Like the police academy in Black and White. Like, he joined the Force. He's part of the Force or some stuff. And then I forget where Hilda did. I think Hilda just went for adventures and stuff. And then you play as new MCs, man. It's just really cool, dude. You know, the OST is great. Obviously, this story in Black and White 2 is a little bit more like Pokemon story than the more, like, idealistic, like deep words and deep-rooted stuff that's in Black and White, you know what I mean? Because the Black and White is like your ideals, your emotions, concepts, understandings, feelings. Black and White 2, Kyurem literally busts a nut all over Opaloosa City. And Get This goes mad. Like, it's a pretty normal Pokemon story, but it's good. All in all, it's great, man. They're great games. I don't want to sit here. I could literally sit here and do this video for an hour. I don't want to do it too long, guys. Just look like my Pokemon. But it's a great game. It's phenomenal, man. I think everyone should play it. Barely anyone has played Black and White 2. Unfortunately, they're some of the least selling Pokemon games they've ever gotten, man. And it's sad. Even Game Freak has acknowledged these games did not sell that well. There was a low reception when it came to just the Generation 5 in general. You can go look it up right now in terms of sales. Still sold great, but it is the least sold main title Pokemon game series that exists. You know, Generation 5, which is unfortunate. You hate to see it, man, but it is what it is, man. I hope people really grow on it. I do. And then X and Y, man. I mean, I have a lot to say about X and Y. I don't want to sit here and say, like, oh, what I have to say is, like, matters more than the other person. I'm just going to say that it's important because I'm one of the few PokeTubers that actually did blow up off the X and Y meta, where the game came out and we were making content on it. You know what I mean? Like I literally can say I no-life these games. Like, I'm not even dramatic. I'm saying I have like 3,000 hours, bro. I got 999 on like 3 different copies. 2 X copies and 1 Y. So I literally no-lifed it. I've emulated it a ton of times. I've played them a ton of times. I have thousands and thousands of content on these games, man. It's easily one of my most no-life Pokemon games ever, right? And I can honestly say with these games, honestly, I think they are below average games. I do. I think they are below average games. The plot is damn near non-existent and simplistic. And it just sort of just comes at you, right? It's almost non-existent up until like the 4th gym leader or something like that, the 3rd gym leader. And then they start talking about and then it's just gone. AFK, MIA. It's just, I don't even know how to describe it, but the plot is very bare bones and empty. The region itself, while beautiful, I actually do love the Kalos region. It's bare bones and empty. There's like hardly any side quests, you know, like the post game is one of the worst post games, if not the worst post game we've ever gotten in a Pokemon game ever. It's just looker side quests and then hunting the roaming birds. Like, what is this, man? What is this? It honestly feels like an unfinished game because the Pokemon, what is it? The laboratory is still locked off and sealed. We still can't go to that. We still don't know what's up with that. There's parts of Lumiose City that are still locked off and power is gone. There's this theory, I think it's Southern Cal, there's this theory that Volcanion destroyed it because they talk about like volcanoes there and like how they're like powers down there. It's been like destroyed and like tampered with. And then it just feels like as well too, like Team Flare is very underwhelming. It's just a very underwhelming team. You know what I mean? They're obsessed with money. They're just Mr. Krabs, bro. Like, it's just not all that, man. I mean, the MCs are really cool, man. Like, I played this game when I was 17. The MCs are really cool, dude. I love Caleb and I love Serena. Really cool MCs. Really cool Mons as well, too. Like, obviously some of the weakest decks Mons I've ever seen, but some of the Mons that are really high are really good, like Xerneas and Evoltal, for example. Greninja's Fire, bro. Aegislash, Talonflame, Goodra, Hawlucha. The list goes on. It's just unfortunate as well, too, that the rivals are the worst rivals I've ever had the dispatcher playing with. Oh my god, I wish the absolute worst for them, especially what's-her-face. Shauna, especially her. I could not deal with her. We keep Tierno, though. But oh my god. Like, I think this game got popular because everyone stopped playing Pokemon and then they came back into it because, oh, wow, 3D. I haven't played Pokemon since Emerald because, yes, a lot of people did play Platinum and Diamond and Pearl. But even then, like, it was still a big fall from Emerald to Platinum, right? So it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, wow, like I haven't really played diehard Pokemon since the Generation 4 games because Generation 5 people barely played. So when they tap into Generation 6, wow, Megas, wow, 3D, it's really cool. Like you can't sit here and say, why did anyone play this game? It makes total sense. The PSS is the best online we've ever had, the best online features. I miss you so much. But all in all, the game itself, a lot of problems, bro. Lot of problems, truly. And then Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, dude, I don't want to be here for now. Let's just go through these guys. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, man. I think they're mid games for sure. I think the worst thing that I can say about these games is that I wasn't really wild about the changes. This one might be a personal one with me because I've personally never been wild about these games. Because I just prefer Ruby Sapphire Emerald just a lot harder, especially Emerald. But I think now playing it again, like this game is definitely nowhere near as bad as I used to say that it was. I'm not gonna lie to you, like I used to clown on this game a lot, saying that it was awful. The Delta episode was cool, man. The new content was cool, man. The new characters and the character design was really cool. They made Team Aqua Black. That's so cool. But like, I mean, like it just, I don't know, man. Like a lot of the new stuff is actually really cool, but they made Mauville City into a mall. I know it's a little bit of a nitpick, but why? Why? The pacing was obviously ruined in this game as well too because it's on the Generation 6 mechanics. Generation 6 pacing was just a lot slower than it was with Emerald, just literally slower, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. Because there's more dialogue and there's more talking, the talking is slow, the 3D engine makes all that stuff slow. It's unfortunate, man, and maybe these games are subject to change because I'm doing an ORAS series right now. Maybe when I'm done with these games, I might bump them up to S. I would not bump them more than that, but I actually don't think these games are anywhere near as bad as what I used to call them, so honestly, yeah. Sun and Moon, this is my hot take. I think these games are incredible. Same with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, man. These games are phenomenal. I think these games are way too hated. Obviously, the one thing that I can agree with some people, at least not agree, but understand, is that if this games had gym leaders, I don't even think this games would get nowhere near as much hate. Just gonna say that right now. But because they had totems, people weren't that wild about them. I love the culture impact of these games. Like you really feel like you're in Hawaii playing these games and all the cool Hawaiian culture and lore in these games, man. So cool, bro, man. It really is. The Dex is cool. The OST is cool. It's got my all-time favorite characters, all-time favorite OST, man. Some of my all-time favorite mons come from this game, man. Like, it's honestly so good. It's so good. I'm just happy that my launch initial playthrough of Sun and Moon and Usum is actually live somewhere on the internet on YouTube, man. Love these games to death. Criminally underrated. People say the pacing is slow. Island 1 is just tutorial city and slow. Yeah, but then like play Island 2. You know, Island 1, I actually did a series on this not too long ago with my boys. Dude, Island 1, you're literally only on there for like, if you take your time, an hour. You know what I mean? Now you could debate, you should not have to be on there for an hour. You just want to get through the game. Sure. But like people be acting like you're on there for like 17 hours. It's not that bad, bro. Z-moves, I'm not defending either. Z-moves are trash. So I get it. Totem's not wild about Z-moves trash. But dude, the characters in the story, I actually think it's got a better story than Black Ops. That's just me though. Let's go. Let's go, man. I'm gonna just say it's also on mid game as well too. This is me being like as completely like unbiased and open-minded as possible. I think these games are the definition of mid, bro. Like graphically wise, the best looking game graphic wise, period, bro. Every remake should look like this, period. I think the problem though is that it feels like a more exclusive Fire Red, if that makes sense. Like you're only locked to the mons you can find in Kanto. Versus like in Fire Red, you can either trade or you can get your accessible means to get other mons, right? Like you can literally get the Johto starters from Oak. You can also get them transferred in as well too. You kind of can't really do that in Let's Go. I wish they kept that, but I get why, because it's Yellow Remake. It is a Kanto only game. I wasn't also wild about the catching. Not gonna lie to you, it was really buggy and sometimes it'd be frustrating. I know they finally fixed out those bugs, but it was still really frustrating to deal with. And then as well too, like the candy system, it just made it bare bones dog crap easy. I know the demographic for this game was mainly to bring in Pogo fans, which average like 25 plus, I'm not even kidding. And then like the 10-year-olds. It's a perfect game when getting both young and older players. I'm not even kidding. Everyone knows Kanto. The boomers know Kanto. They all play Pogo. They're like 30 plus with their kids and the stroller, you know what I mean? And then the 10-year-olds, because you look really young in this game, more than normal, and you also, it's got the more like young, like kiddish, like art style, if that makes sense, you know? But all in all, these games looked really beautiful, and I love Kanto, so maybe there's a little personal bias in there, man. But I'm about to admit, now Sword and Shield, bro, listen, I don't want to get hate for this one as well, too. I think Sword and Shield is also mid. Like, I know, listen, and I'm saying getting hate because I think most people put these games like really low. I think Sword and Shield is also mid, bro. Definitely not bad games for sure. Not amazing either, but I think of mid, I think of glaring flaws, but like not the worst games ever, you know? Definitely not the worst games ever for sure. But definitely like glaring flaws where I can't put them above that. I think the sad reality with these games is obviously like, I don't want to be that guy and sound Natixy, but some of the animations are actually awful. Like the moonwalking Summer Santa. And I'm not saying that ruins the game or anything. I think what potentially ruins that is the story just wasn't really all that captivating. It felt like a Hoenn story with Team Aqua and Team Magma, but worse, if that makes sense. Like, oh, here's a mon that I want to control and use, just like Ruby and Sapphire. They want to use Groudon and Kyogre and control them. Same with Rose, using Eternatus and control him to harness power for the Galar region, right? But the problem is that it just isn't good. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? I think the one thing I liked about these games, though, is that adults actually deal with the problems before we, as the kid, does. You know? Most people complain saying, oh my god, I'm like 10. Why am I in the distortion world fighting Cyrus? Where is Cynthia? And then when Game Freak literally makes a 10-year-old, well, we're like 15 and Sword and Shield. Regardless, when Game Freak literally makes a minor, right, put to the side, and the adults handle it first, like Leon and Rose and the Galarian government, right, with Rose's guys, and they lose. And then us, as the 15-year-old, does something about it. People don't like that. I thought we asked for this. I'm confused. So, regardless, man, I think they were great games, man. I think the DLC obviously fixed it. Pre-DLC, I definitely would have put it down here, man. Post-DLC, man, definitely saved it for sure. And plus, I love Hop. I love Sonya. I love Nessa, man. I love Leon, bro. We got a black champion. That's so fire, bro. Raihan? I love it. Now, these I know the ones that people were waiting for the longest, man. The three new Pokemon games. Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and Legend of Arceus. Let's talk about BDSP, man. Let's talk about it. I do not care if I get any sort of backlash from this. I think these games are awful. I do. I had to process these games. In my initial live stream playthrough, I said these games are like a 6 out of 10. I take it all back. These games are absolutely hideous. They're buggy messes. I've just very much disliked how they've gone with these games, how like Darkrai and Shaman are limited time. Why are they limited time? I understand they were like 15 years ago, but it is 2022. If you make a remake of Diamond and Pearl, have Darkrai and Shaman preloaded into the game. You know what I mean? Have a quest where we can get access to the stuff to go to them. But instead, it was a glitchy, buggy mess that is down there with Red and Blue. A glitchy, buggy mess, bro. You know what I mean? I don't like the art software for this game. I don't like the overworld. This is me just being honest, and this is me giving criticism because I'm just saying things that I don't like and things that were weak, bro. I'm not a fan of it, you know what I mean? I will say the best thing that this game did, probably better than any other Pokemon game ever, is it was more trainer focused. The trainers have some trainers have perfect IVs and perfect EVs, and not to mention the entire Elite Four and Gym Leaders have perfect IVs, perfect EVs, and best in-slot moves. Best in-slot moves, and Cynthia was the most difficult champion to date, and they buffed her even more. I thought that was fantastic. The trainer-wise, gym leader-wise, champion-wise, Elite Four-wise, definitely a great buff for sure. Everything else, not so much, man. It was buggy. You know, they had to literally drop an entire update to fix this game the day after it came out. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. Like, it almost feels like it's unreal that this is a real game. It's the most rushed game we've ever gotten, bro. For sure, for real. And then not to mention Legend of Arceus. Come on, man. Come on, man. This game is absolutely amazing. Game Freak, I love this design. I love this future. Please keep doing games like this. Scarlet and Violet, if they're good, I feel like Scarlet and Violet could be S+, S+. We'll have to wait and see, guys. I'm telling you, just want to start a podcast. Yo, drop a comment down below if you want to see me drop a podcast, man. We can talk about this anytime, man. Let me know what you guys think, though. If you're watching the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you on the next one.